a survey by Religion Counts in 2002 titled Religion and Public Policy at the United Nations found three overarching facts about the relationship between religion and the UN. One, religion is indeed present at the UN. Number two, religion's role at the UN is unclear to many, and religions, individuals and groups at the UN do not have a unified perspective on either the issues before the UN or the appropriate role of religion at the United Nations. For a long period of time, for many years since the institution of the UN, of which religious communities were instrumental in helping it to come into being, it's been imagined that there would be some sort of spiritual or religious counterpart to the UN.
Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaekamurtaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye. Often we see people who take responsibility, they don't pray. And those who pray don't take responsibility. And it's interesting, in this hall, which takes the responsibility for the entire world, we have seen a lot of prayers today.
In a phone call from the United Nations in 1993, February, they said, would you, at Grace Cathedral, host the 50th anniversary of the United Nations? I said, yes. They said, we have a big idea for this service. We want all the nations of the world together with all the religions of the world. We're going to bring 185 ambassadors of the world for that service, and we want you to bring all the religious leaders of the world to that service.
I also looked at the ways in which the worlds of religion interact, particularly with the United Nations system. In other words, all of the institutions around the United Nations, but also other parts of the system. I was intrigued. A certain amount of this experience at least started with some experience that I had. But I was part of a very interesting workshop at the Center of Boissy, which is the World Council of Churches Center near Geneva a few years ago, where I realized that there is a group of people whose vision is that there should be a spiritual council as well as a security council and a general assembly within the United Nations. And they have been working on that for a long time.
The latest of these messengers explained that the religions of the world come from the same source and are in essence successive chapters of one religion from God.
I want to make a special appeal to religious leaders of all faiths to join forces to work for peace around the world.
Key to the success of the United Nations has been the role of interfaith organizations and faith leaders, such as the United Religions Initiative, URI.
O Allah, you are peace, and all peace is from you, and all peace returns to you.
Fostering, sustaining peace is a collective endeavor and can only be effective if we work together. And this is why the role of religious actors and faith-based organizations is so essential, and now more than ever, we must work together. Allah.
The call to prayer made it sound, and at times it even looked like a mosque, in the North Transept where the service was held. Under the National Cathedral's Gothic arches, Reverend Gina Campbell welcomed worshipers by saying the shrine was
chartered by Congress to be a national cathedral, a house of prayer for all people.
Organizers chose this space so that worshipers could face east towards Mecca without seeing the cathedral's crosses and other Christian icons.
Azerbaijan has hosted the second World Religious Leaders Summit in the country's capital, which participants hope could be a good example for the entire world.
This could be a starting point for something big.
And then it dawned on me, I have to get out of being an Episcopalian or a Christian or something. I got to get out of the cathedral and go into the city, and I've got to stop recruiting Episcopalians. If I want to do something about homelessness, I'm going to have to recruit Baptists and Jews and atheists and agnostics and philanthropists and
President Trump further described our vision for the alliance at the United Nations now almost 5 months ago, the first ever religious freedom event hosted by an American president. Together we say that freedom of religion or belief is not a Western ideal, but truly the bedrock of societies. That's clear from our Declaration of Principles. It's grounded in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Every human being has the right to believe in whatever it is they wish, to change their faith or to hold no faith at all.
If you think that your religion has the most authentic word from God, how can you be equal to other people at a table? Bringing these religions together. How do you do that? And then it dawned on me, I had done nothing wrong. I was absolutely right about the vision. I was just looking for love in all the wrong places. Forget about the religious leaders. Go back to what I learned in San Francisco. Go to the grassroots. Just go out in the community. Go to all the grassroots people of religions. And while you're at it, go to everybody else. Go to the indigenous people. Some of their spirituality is older than religious. Go to the people who say, I'm spiritual but not religious. If you're going to open the door, just open the door all the way.
Religion at its best allows us to meet at a common center where God and love and compassion prevail in each and every one of us. And so though science has turned this world into a wonderful, perhaps almost neighborhood, it is time for us to turn it into a spiritual brotherhood and a sisterhood by coming to understand the deep meaning of what I just mentioned, that peace is emanating from a dynamic insight and awareness. I want everyone to take a deep breath with me, right? Just take a deep breath and release. At that moment, you have met at the very center of your being. At that particular moment, you've met at the holy breath. At that particular moment, you're meeting at that which transcends religiosity, at that which transcends the external bounds of that which seems to separate us. If we are to really make of this world a sisterhood and a brotherhood, it means that we are to let our religions be a vehicle to the transcendent, and then allow that transcendent awareness of the one power, the one presence, the one love of which the children brought us to, because that music took us out of the intellect and into the awareness of the transcendent. That moment that we breathed together, we went out of the surface tension and into an awareness of the dynamic presence of God, compassion, love, wisdom, harmony, all synonyms for the one presence. In that instant, we can begin to walk together, to sing together, to dance together, to chant together, and then move into a collective action with the will and the willingness to make a mighty difference on this planet at this time in human history.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky.
And we signed the charter in the year 2000, and within a few years we were the largest international interfaith organization in the world. Whew.